Good evening. I apologize for the paragraphs, but I want to give you enough information so you can give me a meaningful answer. If this is too much to read through, I can give you a shortened version of it. It's just the more knowledge, more context you give me, the better. Better ability to answer the question. I'm 38, 5'6", probably about average looking, but I work out, and I'm really making an effort to make something of myself, improve my finances, and all that other good stuff. But my sexual market value is low, and I'm not what you would call charismatic or successful with the ladies. I don't have a rich social life or an impressive Instagram. It's not realistic for me to even maintain anything like a rich social life. I am introverted. I have pretty bad approach anxiety, and I worry about knowing what to say and being able to keep a conversation going. I have no problem talking to, joking around, or flirting with women I know, even in ways that are inappropriate. But when it comes to women I don't know, I'm not confident about or comfortable with approaching or striking up conversation with them, especially under the premise that the reason I want to talk to them is because I'm attracted to them. Okay, let's see. Let's face it. I don't think a woman is attractive. I'm not going to want to initiate with her. We'll get back to this, but that's a problem to start with. I'm less uncomfortable with progressing things once I know a woman is comfortable with me. Yeah, that makes sense. But I really struggle with initiation, and I worry about knowing how to keep the conversation going because I don't have a ton of great stories to talk about. Well, we haven't even finished the question, but you've already identified a problem that you need to fix. So that's good, a bit of self-reflection. It amazes me how some people can just talk and talk and talk. I suppose another problem with how I talk, though, is struggling to know how to talk to women in a way that's seductive rather than just friendly. You probably know exactly what I mean. Let me stop right there, and I'll answer that bit while it's fresh in my mind. Like, you're amazing how people can just talk. There's only really two things you need to be able to just talk and talk. Actually, let's say I'm going to give you three things that allow you to talk endlessly. One is to have stories, which means you have to do cool shit. Or things that you find fun. Things that you find genuinely interesting and entertaining. Because that enthusiasm that you have for that activity or that story, that adventure you went on, is going to bleed through in your communication. It's going to bleed through in the way you tell the story. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be anything. But whatever you find fun and interesting, you need to make more stories for yourself. This is for you. It's your life. Make it a fun one. You know? Don't just do this for the sake of women. But it's a nice little benefit that it gives you things to talk about with women by having a fun life and doing fun things, not just sitting around on your ass all day watching TV or eating Cheetos. Not implying that that's what you do, but most people, that's what the average person does. They don't do anything with their life. They don't have any fun. They don't give themselves permission to go on any adventures. So having stories to tell, that's kind of the first tool in your toolkit for sort of endless conversation. The second is having strong opinions. Being very strong and opinionated is extremely attractive. As a dude being strong and opinionated is attractive to women. It shows you have balls, it shows you have confidence, it shows you have self-esteem, makes you look more intelligent, makes you look more like a leader. So having strong opinions on things, be they political. I mean, people often give the advice like never talk about politics and stuff on dates. I'm the opposite. I talk about it like straight up, like one of the first things I talk about. Because if I'm looking to have a relationship with a woman, I want to be someone who's compatible, you know. So having strong opinions on those sort of things, because women don't really have opinions. They have their opinion. Women's opinions are that of the strongest male influence in their life. Like they absorb that through a man. So you, by forming strong opinions, and not necessarily in a academic, debatey kind of way, but in more of a fun, playful way, guiding her to those opinions. Another topic that my friends have been using recently on dates and things is just conspiracy theories because we find it funny. I genuinely have a friend who thinks the world is flat, and so I'll bring that up on dates all the time. I'll be like, okay, is the world flat? And you just pursue that rabbit hole because it's funny. It's a fun little bantery thing you can do back and forth with a girl together, and you can gauge how serious she is, is she conspiratorially minded, all these sort of things. It's funny. The third tool in your toolkit, I'd say, is being genuinely curious about her. Because women love to talk about themselves. So, and you do this, the cheat code to this, as well as a caveat to this, is that you don't ask necessarily, sometimes, you don't necessarily ask questions. More often than not, you want to be making statements. So, let's say, if I wanted to find out what she did for work, rather than saying, it's okay to ask questions. I'm not saying you have to be autistic and never ask a question, but this is a way to make your questions more interesting and make better conversation out of them. You can, instead of, if you want to find out what she does for work, instead of asking what do you do for work, you can make a statement and make a guess. You can do what's called, this is called cold reading, by the way. If you learn a little bit more about cold reading, it's a fantastic tool for generating endless conversations with women. So I might look at a girl and I might say, and judging by maybe what I know about her already, her Instagram, where she's from, how articulate she is, her, like, whatever, I might make a guess about what she does. I'm like, you seem like someone who studies law, or you seem like someone who's worked as a waitress before. Like something like this is a generalized, just a statement I'm throwing out, and then she will tell me and fill in the gaps, and we'll have a conversation based on that. That is an open-ended, like, it's a statement. It's not even necessarily an open-ended question, but it's more of the statement leads to more conversation, and that's a fantastic way to kind of have never-ending conversations with women. You just make assumptions about everything about in their life, not in an offensive way, but in a playful way, using cold reading. And you don't even need to, like, it doesn't matter if you're wrong, like, at all. It's actually funnier if you're wrong, and then you can double down on your answer by having a strong opinion about your initial guess and accuse them. No, you're lying to me. You're lying to me. There's no way you do that. There's no way you do that. Like, you just create this flirtatious back and forth and there's all these three key things here: doing cool shit and having stories to talk about, having strong opinions on things, and being genuinely curious about her, and instead of and asking questions through statements. These will give you endless conversation pieces with women. So there's that bit. That was this bit. Okay, so that's that bit. To make a long story short, I'm very fearful of making a woman uncomfortable, and by extension, probably being labeled a creep or something like that. Yeah, you have to learn how to. The key to not being labeled as a creep is to be able to read women's body language, and that just takes experience. So you have to go through, you'll have to creep a couple of women out to learn what that looks like to avoid doing it in the future. There are a few things I am more afraid of, to be honest, especially for someone that I would see fairly frequently, regardless, that could potentially attack my reputation behind the scenes. Yeah, that doesn't really happen as much as you think it would, unless you really fuck up. Like, if you just creep a woman out like a little bit, okay, it's not a big deal. Like, you have a bad date, that whoop-de-doo. Like, if you I don't know, make a big scene in a restaurant or something, or get verbally abusive, like these kind of things, like if you fly off the handle, get with your emotions, then you might have your reputation damaged. But just if you just creep a woman out a little bit by being a little bit socially uncalibrated or not reading her body language correctly a little bit, that ain't going to be that big a deal. She's just going to politely excuse herself. So basically, I'm asking you for the insight or advice as far as what's the best way for me to overcome this hurdle. So we went over the conversation stuff. So I start there. I've given you 3 ways to have never-ending conversations, basically. P.S. I appreciate you taking your time to answer this question. Let me know if you offer coaching. I don't do any coaching. It's not worth my time. Also, I don't know if you have a Patreon. No. I have thought about doing that, though. I'm curious what kind of knowledge you would have about dating abroad. Because I think I would really like a girl from Latin America. Latin American girls are super fun. They're very feminine. They're very caring. They're very sexual. But they are also very passionate and feisty. And they are very argumentative. They love drama. They really love drama. So you got to be aware of that. There was one other thing you mentioned up here, which was being introverted. Okay, here we go. This bit. Let's face it, if I don't think a woman is attractive, I'm not going to want to initiate a conversation with her. And before that, you said, I'm introverted, I'm pretty bad with approach anxiety, etc. So here's the solution to that. This is a long answer, but these are very important for you. So you have to train yourself to be social with everybody. Here's the way you do that. For the next 3 months, whenever you leave your house, whenever you see a woman that is unattractive, a woman that is fat, a woman that is old, whenever you see any of these women that you're not interested in, you are going to give them a compliment, and you're going to carry on with your day. You're not going to stop to have a conversation. You're not going to make it awkward and wait for her to reply with anything else, just in passing. Like if you're in an elevator together or something, like on your way out, those shoes look fantastic on you, and you carry on with it. I like your hat. You look really good today. That's a lovely outfit. It's not a creepy sexual compliment. It's just a throw and go compliment. Something you're trying. Well, here's the point of this: you're just trying to make that woman's day. All you're trying to do is put a smile on her face, and you don't want anything from her because she's either ugly, fat, or old. Right? You're not into her. She's not attractive. But what's going to happen is you are now going to make that woman's day. You're going to be putting a smile on someone else's face, and you're going to feel good because of that. Like we're altruistic. Humans are altruistic, right? So if you make someone's day, and you can tell, you're like, you look fantastic today, man. And she's like, oh, thank you very much. And you don't want anything from her. You're not sitting there being a creep and giving off needy energy. And you just carry out like you're in the supermarket, passing someone in the aisle, or you're in the checkout line or whatever, or yeah, you're somewhere, you're walking past someone in a coffee shop, anywhere, it doesn't matter. You're just throwing out random compliments to women you're not interested in. And this is going to reinforce in your brain that you are a social person, and being social is not a scary thing. Being social, and this is the best part, that being social is in fact a positive thing that makes you feel good about yourself. It reinforces your self-esteem. And that's because you put a smile on these people's faces, and you'll feel good about it. You'll feel good about yourself for that. So you're going to be associating being social with feeling good about yourself. And what you'll find is that if you spend I want you to spend 3 months just doing this with women that you do not find attractive, that you have no interest in whatsoever. So ugly, fat, old, right? What you'll find is you'll become a more social person. You'll feel happier. Your self-esteem will go through the roof. You'll start to become more, you'll start to feel less introverted. And then after that, you can start doing it with women who you do find attractive. But keep doing it. Keep doing it with the ones you don't find attractive. Because the key to this is you need to be able to give off non-needy energy. You need to be able to communicate with a woman, and she needs to not feel like you're trying to get something from her. This is why we do it first and foremost with women we're not attracted to, so that we can learn how to do that, so that when we do see an attractive woman, we can do the same thing. We can throw out a compliment or something, start a conversation with her, make her day, put a smile on her face, and she doesn't feel like we're a creep who wants something from her. We don't give a shit. Like, you look great today. Carry on. And then, with a few months of doing that to women that you do find attractive, you're going to reinforce that you put a smile on some woman's face, you feel great. She's not feeling like you're trying to get anything from her, and your approach anxiety is going to start to go away because your self-esteem is being boosted and reinforced every time you talk to a woman. So these are the training wheels that I want you to start with.